So in case you haven't seen this, OpenAI strategy, they are now pivoting into advertising as well as their core product, partially because they're bleeding money, pretty much entirely because they're bleeding money, if we're honest about it. But this is a really big deal because it changes the viability and direct assessment that you get whenever you're using a tool like OpenAI to analyze and compare products in the space. If we take a look at this article, what we can see is that businesses can register as advertisers on the platform to launch and manage campaigns in real time through ChatGPT. They have different partnerships by which you can go through these, and you can have cost per impression, cost per click, all of the same kinds of things you can get on Google. You're now going to get in ChatGPT. What's going to be really interesting is to see what level of disclosure they provide for the sponsored advertisement. So we know whenever we see a Google ad, we always see the sponsored area at the top of the page. But what I'll be really curious to see is how that disclosure works. If that disclosure is hidden, if it's in plain view, how much attention is brought to that disclosure. Because in the midst of a chat interface, since it is so much more conversational, we're really going to see that people are going to be having conversations with chat, and then what chat recommends as the product may not necessarily be the best product. It may just be the product that is providing them the most money based on the most marketing. This feeds into a different cycle that I've already talked about a lot on this channel, where, a lot of the AI market is just noisy marketing. A lot of what people are saying is not really true. And I think that this is going to exacerbate that problem dramatically, because as a fellow business owner, of course, I understand the need to advertise, but the idea that you're going to be able to just pay for the click directly in the chat feed means that the new comparison game, the new game to play, is really going to be in that. And especially since Google recently released their change to be AI first in their search as well, the entire game is going to be about answer engine optimization rather than search engine optimization. Now, another thing that's interesting here, the AI search charts, they are projecting a drastic increase in AI search-based advertising spend. And that's interesting for a couple different reasons. The main one is that the competition is no longer going to be to get on that first page of Google, to be one of the first 10. It's not going to be in the first 2 or 3. It's going to be the top 1. It's going to be the top 1 person who is able to win that click or get that mention, and the others are not even going to get much direct attention. And that fundamentally changes what it means to attempt to win a bid war, and it fundamentally changes the breadth and depth of the answer engine optimization you can do, especially if you are a small business or a medium-sized business that is growing to compete for that larger pie within that space. It's going to be a very different market, and what I think we're going to see is a bunch of very sophisticated sub-niching when it comes to being the company, the one company that wins that mention and wins that click in the chat space.